Subscribe.
That's right.
Well, welcome to another edition of CLTFC Fan TV. For the fans, by the fans. I'm JT. Let me see if I can do it. I always get it wrong. That's Lee. And that is Woody Wilder, Dub, manager of communications for your Charlotte FC. And tonight, he's going to help us understand what the hell is going on in the background of the whole team. Take it away, Lee.
Yeah. What's up, folks? Appreciate y'all joining us. Woody, man, appreciate your time. Understand that you had a bigger and better invitation, but, man, we appreciate you picking us up.
There are a lot of Hornets games, Woody. There's more Hornets
games. Yeah, there's 42 of them, so I'll go to it. I'll go to another one.
You'll be all right.
No, yeah. I'd rather be with you guys, to be fair.
Man, we feel the love. We really do. So, Woody, man, seriously, thanks for joining us, man. We got a lot to cover tonight, right? We're going to touch on the new signing. Then we're going to talk a little bit about this reality TV. And then we're also going to try to touch on this new corporate sponsor that we got that was announced today. And then, obviously, wherever the conversation takes us, we'll do that. So, first up, man, tell us a little bit about yourself and what you do with the club and how you got here.
Yeah, sure. Thanks for having me, guys. Lee, JT, it's always a pleasure. So yeah, I am Woody. I work in sporting operations or communications, but in the sporting operations side. So most of what I do kind of focuses on the sporting side of things. So player signings, coach hirings, just day-to-day media operations, that sort of thing, as it relates to first team and academy soccer operations. So I've been doing this a while. I come from NYCFC. So it's been the last 4 years there, kind of doing a similar thing up in New York. Originally from Wytheville, Virginia, which is just up the road, about 2 hours, up 77, up in the mountains, kind of small town. Grew up playing soccer, ended up going to Greensboro College here in North Carolina, played soccer there as a goalkeeper. Retired now, though, so don't really play too much. Yeah, just like that, JT. Just like that.
You got to get the hands out.
A little bit more active, yeah. But yeah, and then kind of knew soccer wasn't my pathway, but always wanted to work in the game. Went to University of Maryland for grad school. Got a broadcast journalism degree there, which kind of parlayed into a job at NFL Network. So I worked in LA for 4 years, kind of on TV production. Last role there was kind of talent producing for Michael Irvin, which was a whirlwind to say the least. All 22 weeks was something different, but he was great to work with. We had crazy ideas and got to help him, whether it was break a deadlock if he didn't know what a pick was, if he wanted the Ravens or he wanted the Steelers, kind of break that tie in his head, or just kind of maybe what would resonate with fans if he said something a little bit crazy or off the wall. We could work those things out. So that was fun. Ended up working Copa America in 2016. Was embedded with the Costa Rican national team, doing some social media stuff, which is where I met my future boss at New York. Kind of went to New York and then found my way back to Charlotte. So that's a little.
That's a
little
whole lot of, that's a long way to get here.
That's very succinct, Woody.
Yeah, exactly.
He was like, bullet point.
Dude, that's how you gotta do it in comms, right? You have bullet points,
Mm-hmm.
short and sweet. Don't maybe take too much of people's time. Journalists have got things to do, deadlines to meet. Don't beat around the bush. Give them what
That's
the
right.
info they need. So
Just make sure you update the deck, Caleb.
exactly right.
Yeah. So, so with that being said, man, obviously the big news, at least for the soccer, this new signing that we got this weekend, or we announced Monday. Just want to throw it out there that us and Top Bin were the first ones to kind of break that about 2 or 3 weeks ago. So it was hard getting the information, but I think we put that jigsaw puzzle together, man, and nailed it. So
yeah, it's crazy. It's crazy the information you can find now in 2021. All it takes is a few Instagram accounts, it seems like.
Yeah, that and a lot of damn Googling, man. I was on like page 5. Right. Page 2, so whatever.
Yeah, no.
But anyway,
fair play to y'all. You nailed it right on the head. So that's
So
it's good stuff.
Yeah. So obviously,
I had no idea. By the way, I had no idea.
Yeah. But you're under the Charlotte FC Fan TV umbrella, so that you get credit just the same.
Lee was like, you need to do something with this guy.
Yeah.
And who is this?
Yeah. Probably no one had heard of him. Right.
No, but there was an article. Anyways, right. We won't get into how we found it. We'll just talk about the player, right? So Jordi, how do you pronounce his last name? Alcivar, right?
Alcivar. Yeah. So the accent is on the I there.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to work on these pronunciations. I can
me too. My Spanish pronunciations aren't the best.
My English is terrible, man.
Yeah, same.
Right?
I've been speaking it for 29 years, and I still can't. Can't speak it.
But
but yeah, man, we're excited about Jordi. Everything I've heard has been good. We had there was a great article from Caleb literally yesterday. He spoke with Thomas, our scout, which kind of breaks him down as a player, talking about kind of what he brings to the table as a player, what he, kind of the traits he brings on the field, right? He's got a good mind on him. He's kind of that kind of 8-ish kind of role. He has a good defensive mentality as well. Doesn't necessarily get lost. He's kind of can break that, kind of offensively break that pass, break down the lines. So he's a great player. He's really well respected down in Ecuador. Obviously, 22 years old. Plays at a big club in Ecuador too. I think a lot of new soccer fans maybe and people new to Charlotte don't really understand how big some of these clubs in South America are and the history behind them and the players they've produced. So when you're playing Sudamericana, when you're playing Libertadores, like that's massive.
Right.
And the talented players are the ones that are playing there. And to get him to Charlotte, he wanted to come, and we got that kind of that deal done. And I think I just saw the comment that the fans loved him. That's one thing that struck out to me is you saw it with the announcement, and especially from the Ecuador fans, that they were sad to see him go, but they knew he was going on to a good situation here in Charlotte, but also a place where he can showcase his talent to a wider kind of audience and a better league.
Right.
And so while they're gutted to see him go, he's a fan favorite. I think he's going to be a fan favorite here. People are going to love him.
Because it was his boyhood
yeah,
club.
Yeah, it was the only team he's ever played for. So,
Right. Yeah.
you know, he's 22, so he hasn't been there that long, right? But we're talking from an academy level, and it's, you know, he's only known Ecuadorian football, so now he comes to Charlotte. It's going to be a new city. It's going to be a new challenge, right?
Yeah.
He might need some time to settle in, but you know, he comes with a high pedigree.
Right.
And obviously, we have a great scouting team. If you look at our roster so far, we've signed players from all over the globe and players that are playing high levels, even like Riley, right? Started today in the championship for Birmingham.
Yeah.
You know, Sergio is week in and week out putting in high performances in Spain. So, and then even the guys here locally, they're kind of dominating the championship right now here. So, so he kind of fits into that puzzle, and Miguel knows him a little bit from Ecuador too. So that's a plus.
So what I'm seeing here is that we signed a 4-year contract, or he signed a 4-year contract with us, and then we got a club option for a 5th year.
Mm-hmm.
You know, obviously, real quick, I'll just kind of run over, and then you can touch on this, right? We had to pay Cincinnati $100,000 for discovery rights, which, you know, one of those MLS rules for sure.
Yeah, I can just stop you there real quick for people that don't know maybe what that is. So there's a discovery list that essentially to sign players from other countries, you have to have this player on your quote unquote discovery list, and players can't be on more than one, you know, more than one team's discovery list. So Cincinnati had them on their discovery list, and to do that, there's some more rules behind it. Like you have to genuinely be interested in them. You have to have the financial means to buy them. You can't just hug Messi and Ronaldo and just play them on your discovery list, right? Like you can't do that. There are rules.
List every single person. Hey, they're on the list. It's 138, but he's on the list.
Yeah, but you only get 7 of them, so that's the key. So if you want to sign a player, you have to have them. So you can't. I mean, I guess you could source a player, but you know it's kind of tough to do so. So yeah, Cincinnati had him. Cincinnati wanted him, but at the end of the day, he wanted to come to Charlotte. So yeah, we had to trade Cincinnati for him. It used to be a fixed price, but now they're negotiable. So it's 100,000 GAM. But in the grand scheme of things, I think if he's the player, I think everyone in our sporting staff thinks he can be. It's a steal.
So touch on that, right? You said GAM, right? For the folks that may be new to the MLS, you know, what exactly is GAM, or general allocation money?
Yeah, so there's 2 types of allocation money. So there's GAM, general allocation money, and TAM. I'm not going to sit here and pretend that I know every single detail about this. It's a better question probably for Bobby or Mark or Zoram. Sure. But yeah, so essentially there's a max budget charge. And I don't know off the top of my head. I think it's like $612,000 maybe, something around there. Yeah. And so that means players can only make that amount of money, right, on the budget. However, there are certainly players, the PA just dumped their salary database today. There are players that make over that. And so the reason they can make over that is because you have this allocation money that you can, quote unquote, buy players down below that. So if a player makes $800,000, for example, he can use $200,000 of allocation money and it buys him down to $600,000. And that way he fits under the budget charge.
Right.
So he only counts $600,000 to your budget, but he gets made $800,000. So there are certain mechanisms to do that. So that's just money to be able to get better quality players and fit them under your salary cap budget. Designated players fall outside of that kind of designation, but in general terms, that's what that allocation money is for. It's kind of, it doesn't mean the player's now making $600,000. It means the player's still making $800,000, but on your budget charge, it's only counting towards $600,000.
Yeah, we called that when we had Caleb and Top Ben on our Soccer 201, where we kind of went over the MLS stuff. We called it cooking the books almost, right?
Yeah, and for some of this stuff,
he's only making $600,000. Here you go. Here's your 200. He's like a bag man dropping 200 G's. You know,
so it's there are great resources out there too. I think I still learn. So like, you know, the guys at The Athletic know it right on the head. So Paul, Sam, those guys, like, encourage everyone here to go follow those guys. They know their stuff. And you know, the rules are publicly posted on MLS too. So you can go, you know, you can go to the league website and figure them out yourselves. They're a little kind of, you know, in the weeds, but there are people that understand this. So,
but the overarching idea is that MLS, being relatively a young league, wants to create as much parity and evenness as possible, right? I mean, it seems to be that way with the GAM and TAM. It's like, listen, we're all in this together. We're going to spread that money out. Yes, you can pay more here or there, whatever.
But I think that, you're right there. But it's the teams that use it wisely become better because they know how to use it wisely. And the teams that use it poorly, use it poorly. So if you look at Cincinnati, when you come into the league, you have a little bit extra allocation money, and Cincinnati kind of traded a lot of it away or didn't use it properly, and they suffer on the pitch for it. And so it's a very important mechanism. If you don't kind of nail those TAM signings and DP signings, you can quickly be left behind, just simply like you said, because there's parity and there are 18 other teams out there that have the same resources as you. So it's a good thing. I think in the league, I think it can also hold more ambitious clubs back as well. Are some of the negatives to it, but overall, the good teams and smart owners and smart GMs know how to manage that.
Yeah. So with that being said, right? So is this our first DP player? Because he doesn't fit in that young money rule, right? So.
No, not necessarily. No. So roster compliance is not going to be until later on in the year. So that roster compliance is the day that you set your DPs, your U22s, etc. Right. There are certain DPs that have to be a DP no matter what, and there are certain players that can be DPs, but they can also be bought down using targeted allocation money. And so right now we haven't put Jordy in a designation like that. So might end up as a DP for cap reasons, but he could very easily be not. So it kind of just depends how the rest of the window unfolds. So that's kind of.
So your boss Nick Kelly tweeted the other day that he's going to be here next week. The rumblings, where we hang out seem to be that maybe he won't quite be here on Wednesday. So do you have any insight on that?
Yeah, no, good question. I don't know where you're hearing rumblings from, but yeah, I mean, I'm expecting him to be here. I think next week kind of expects him to be here. So we'll see. But like international football is a crazy world. So until you see it from Ecuador, right? Like it's unofficial until it's official. And that's what I tell a lot of people, right? And so we're kind of planning internally for that. But we're not here to. We're kind of. I'm waiting on that official tweet from Ecuador, right, or that official notice. So
So does his contract start with us in December, and he's just going to play in Ecuador until then, or?
Yeah, he'll stay in Ecuador for the rest of the year. And play for Quito. I think they have 5-6 games left, so they're on kind of a similar calendar to MLS.
Right.
So he'll be done in December or whenever the league ends there, and then join us for training camp in middle of January.
I know, man. Things are about to heat up, man. It's going to be busy season.
It's exciting, man. Preseason is my favorite part of the year.
It's just going to be good to finally have some, at least from our side of the fence, maybe not yours, to have some like decent content to cover and all that kind of stuff. We've been starving over here, man.
Yeah.
Hold on. You're saying we're starving, and that's why we have Woody Wilder on?
Exactly. I'm about seventh choice in the club right now. That's the problem. You guys had Sean on before me. You guys had I don't know who else you've had on.
You're such a busy man, man. You're such a busy man. It's just been hard, right?
Yeah, I'm everywhere in this city. Yeah.
Yeah, your secretary keeps telling us, to leave you alone, so we had to
go. Caleb's my secretary. I'm gonna start.
I was gonna say personal assistant.
My schedule.
Corporate Caleb.
Yeah. No, we don't say that. That lingo is frowned upon in our offices.
Yeah. Okay. We won't bring that up anymore, Caleb. We'll let you. But yeah, man. So, obviously he's going to be here. I think it's going to be a good signing. Like some people have said in the chat, right? Yeah. A lot of people from the team he's currently with are sad to see him go, but understand. And, all the highlights I've seen, he's a baller. So, kudos to Zoran and co.
Man. Some bangers. I don't know if we put out a little highlight video of him, and he's an exciting player, and I think he fits Miguel's system really well. I think he probably wouldn't be here if he didn't. So, we're excited to see him play. And
likewise.
Like I said, lots of potential. I think when you sign these young players, that's kind of the upside, right? It's like
Right.
it's a selling league. MLS is. So
Yeah.
right, it's like, yeah, we want, you want someone to come in here and play 15 years for us, right? Like that would be great, become a club legend, things like that. But the
Yeah.
reality is that's not how teams operate for the most part. So
yeah, I mean, Nick,
so yeah.
Nick's made a lot of comments about that, right? Getting them in, kind of developing, selling them on, and doing that sort of thing. So yeah, it's good to see that that's not coming a retirement league, and they've shifted from that, in my opinion. So
to more of something that maybe resembles Holland or Belgium, right?
Belgium, sure,
where you can still have good teams that have a global brand like an Ajax or a Anderlecht or PSV, someone like that. But yeah, I think MLS is going to get there. The World Cup's only going to help.
That's right.
4 years time, right? And so yeah.
Yeah. So Cameron's asking, like, when is the official schedule release? Do you have any idea on that?
Yeah, it'll probably be sometime in December. I don't have an exact date for you guys. That's traditionally like in all 4 of my years here, or at NYCFC, it was a little bit before Christmas. Obviously, COVID changed things a little bit, so that was an outlier. But the other 3 kind of normal years, it's going to be at some point before Christmas. I can't really give you a better date. A better date than that. Sometimes home openers are leaked a little earlier, or they announce the debut. Like it kind of just depends. Hopefully we can maybe get usually expansion teams maybe can announce it a little bit sooner, a game or 2 here or there, just to create some buzz. So we're certainly working behind the scenes to get you guys as much details as quickly as we can, because we want to start promoting that stuff too.
What about the drafts, like the regular draft and the expansion draft and the super draft or whatever? Can you give us like a broad picture of the drafts coming up?
Yeah, for sure. So the first one will be the expansion draft. And so we're going to be able to select 5 players from other teams, except for the 5 teams that had Austin pick someone. So I don't know the teams off the top of my head. I think Nashville's one of them because they had Brady Scott. I think San Jose is protected. I think the Galaxy, and then 2 others. I can't remember off the top of my head who else.
We can pick anyone.
No, so not anyone. So there's a protection kind of protocol that each team gets to protect a certain number of players, and then certain players are generally auto protected. So I think homegrowns are generally auto protected. So it's either 11 or 12 players that teams get to protect. So we're not going to come here and be able to pick Joseph Martinez, right? Like that's just not. Unless Atlanta wants to leave him open for us, I think we'd gladly take him, but I don't think that's going to happen. So yeah, teams can protect players, and then generally there are certain players that are auto protected. So like if you're homegrown and you put all these resources in, usually those are auto protected. So say Seattle wouldn't have to protect Jordan Morris, or New York wouldn't have to protect James Sands. Like these key homegrown signings, you just don't have to protect generally. I haven't seen the official rules for this year, but I'm assuming it's going to be similar. And then you get to protect 12, and that's up to each team's general manager to decide, or 11, whatever it is. Can't remember the exact rules. Sometimes it changes as rosters expand. So yeah, it's interesting. And it's kind of a guessing game, really. And so we'll see the list of the people that are unprotected like 48 hours before the expansion draft, and then
so 2 days before it's like, here you go.
Yeah. And then our sporting department have 5 selections, and so they're obviously already doing their homework. You can get a good, you can kind of, just like you would do a mock NFL draft, you can kind of.
Uh-oh. Did he disappear on us?
No, that we got too close to it.
Mock expansion draft, you probably have a good idea. Oh, was that did someone beam down and stop my Wi-Fi?
You lagged, but I think that was purposeful somehow.
Yeah, no. So I think so I don't know where I started the lag, but yeah, I guess our sporting staff is doing their homework, of course, and so they probably have a good understanding of who might be protected and who might not be protected, right? And then there's going to be players at that 10, 11, 12 that you might think are available. So you start doing these scenarios. If this player and this player and this player is available, who are we drafting, right? Or things like that. So yeah, right. It's a fun process.
Well, I told the We Are Austin TV boys they were going to join us. I'm not sure if they're out there. They bitched last time they couldn't figure out how to put anything in the chat. But as great as their
Nice.
season's going, hopefully we don't take any of their players. And I'll
Yeah,
just
and I mean,
leave
if you look at their expansion draft, right? I think they drafted Brady Scott, who's I think their third choice goalkeeper. They drafted Danny Hosen, who didn't. I think he got hurt unfortunately early on. They drafted Joe Corona, who then I think was taken in the waiver draft or some other weird MLS mechanic, so he didn't even play for Austin. And so,
that was weird.
it's there's it kind of there's a little bit of luck involved. So sometimes it's which players are available, right? It's sometimes teams came into the league with another club, and so there were 10 selections, so you didn't get all 5 choices. But you can find like Latif Blessing. Latif Blessing was I think one of LA's selections, right? So there's certainly value there, and it kind of just depends on the club, on the situation, why a player is being left unprotected, or what it is. And then sometimes you might draft a player to then trade on to someone because they're interested in them. So there's a lot of variables to it.
Fair enough. All right. So we're going to kind of shift gears on you, right? We're going to talk about this reality show, right?
Perfect.
So I believe the working title of this might be called Welcome to the Team. From what I know, there's a lot of dates still to be determined. Something that I found kind of interesting was that actually this isn't the first time that Charlotte's been used to something like this, right? We had the All or Nothing about the Panthers apparently on Amazon. So I actually didn't know that was out there, and so I might take a gander and watch that. I guess there's going to be about 10 to 15 people possibly that might be competing. And then the other part of it really is right. Obviously they're across the globe, and then Nick and everybody's going to kind of be on there as judges. The one concern I've been seeing out there on the socials, other than the trolls, like trying to make fun of us and all that, because we're doing a reality TV. But the fact is, we're going to be the first ones to do it, and when you guys do it next, you'll always be behind us in our shadows. So F y'all. And so, can you talk to this? Like, like everybody's worried, like, why are we going to spend a spot on our team for some, reality TV guy, right?
Yeah. No, I think it's right. I think the term reality TV is maybe a little bit of a disservice, right? It's not like the Kardashians. It's not like it's not like The Bachelor, and we're going and casting Ocho Cinco to come play soccer for us, or Usain Bolt. Like that's not the point,
Ocho
right?
Cinco, damn.
Yeah, that would be. As much as it would
Woody
be
Butler
awesome.
said Chad Johnson, Ocho Cinco is going to be playing for Charlotte FC.
Heard it here.
You heard it here first. Tweet it out. Tag Nick Kelly in that just so he sees it. But no, it's like it's going to be actual players, and it's going to be players that our technical staff is scouted as well from all places of the globe. And it's a very common practice, I think, across world football of kind of just this idea of a trial. So you bring players in that you might not want to sign, or you might not offer a contract, to see how they fit in your organization. And this happens all across MLS. This happens all across Europe. This happens everywhere in the world. And so this is kind of a similar making a little razzle dazzle on like a competition series, right? But it's bringing in players who we think can help the first team. Simple as that. Our sporting staff is out there, and we kind of touched on this earlier. We've signed 8 very quality players. We're not going to go out there and waste our time trying to just, have fun and be on Netflix or whatever, right? Like that's not the point of this. This is to find a player that maybe has fallen through the cracks for whatever reason. Maybe he tore his ACL in the academy and he needs a second chance, or maybe he's in an under-scouted region of the globe and just hasn't had that chance to excel on a higher level. Maybe it's a player who's, had a falling out with coach and now, hasn't done this. So those are the types of, storylines that, that might be here. I'm not going to sit here and say we're going to find Messi out of this, right? I think that's unrealistic to expect that.
Listen, they won't find Messi, but they might find a mess. Tune in Thursday nights at 9 p.m.
Boom, great headline. But like at the end of the day, right? Like there's been some success with shows like this, right? So, for instance, Sueño MLS had a similar concept at the academy level and had a U.S. men's national team player and a Mexican national team player come out of it, right? And then Nike had a similar thing, and Tom Roderick, who plays for the Australian national team, still plays for Celtic, came out of it. And so there are things like this that are out that, and I think whatever comment that just came up was absolutely right. I think the stigma of the reality show hurt the initial reaction, and I think that's a fair point. And I think that's what we've done. Nick has talked about this kind of publicly in the past. It's like we're taking this seriously, and we have to get it right, not only on this show, but then also our first team has to be winning at the same time, right? Like if our first team is losing and then we're doing this in the background, it's not going to look good for anyone, right?
Yeah,
right. And so
to do it out the gate. Yeah. I mean, coming out the first season, you're like, yes, production crew, you scour the globe, you bring in whoever. We're gonna have cameras around.
Yeah, but even then,
why not? What the hell? Why not? Let's throw it all together.
But it's not a production
coming out of the gate. It's interesting.
Yeah, but it's our scouts doing it. So the players coming in are hand selected by our team, right?
So we're already going to scout them, right?
It's not exactly. So it's not MGM pulling some random guy from the middle of Europe to come over to Charlotte. Like it's
right.
There's going to be a process to this, and I think is there going to be I think there's a crown ceremony. We put a crown on whoever stays.
Hey, that's a good idea.
Yeah,
a little bit of a bit. I like that.
Here. And so I mean, I think overall, if we find a player that can help us on the pitch, I think it's going to be a massive success, and then hopefully boils over into other teams. Like he said, he made a joke about it, but I think the ultimate goal is that MGM and MLS want to continue to do this since the success and finds talented players. And then on the flip side of that, right, just from a more marketing buzzy type, it's going to put Charlotte at the forefront of a national global television series, right? So you could see a player or whatever coming in from training, and it follows them back to their house in Plaza Midwood, and they're eating at Midwood Smokehouse or whatever, right? And so it's going to put Charlotte as a city kind of in the conversation too. I think that's one of the cool things about the F1 documentary, right? Is they're in a different city every episode, so you get to see different parts of the globe and kind of just kind of the scenics and all that, and it's going to be awesome. I think I'm really excited. It's one of the bigger projects I'm excited about to work on next year, and
it'll be fun to watch from a fan's perspective,
Exactly, right.
I'm just going to throw this out there. If you guys need any other celebrity judges, JT and I, and even
JT and Lee,
we'll be available.
It can be like the Muppets up in the balcony.
Exactly.
Back there, like the whole fan judge angle.
We expect some sort of cameo, though, is what we're saying.
Yeah, and so it's a little bit unfortunate too with this obviously made a lot of buzz nationally and internationally, and I think there was a piece in a Brazilian paper today about it. It was, and so to your point, right? It's like that, going back to that kind of reality stigma, is that there's still not a lot of details about this show, right? We didn't announce a format, we didn't announce a partner, we didn't announce X, Y, and Z, and so there's still a lot kind of going on in the background that we can't share right now, but it's gonna be a fun project, and I think it's gonna be.
What I can tell you, folks, is they said DT, the boss of all, said let's party, and now Woody Wilder is saying they're gonna give us a buzz. So we got this buzz coming from the party. So whatever. I don't know what kind of new reality drug this is of media, but we're gonna have a buzz from this show to help us party. That's all I know.
Yeah, I mean, I think for the most part, at least for the folks in Charlotte, I think we're kind of looking forward to it, right? It's something new. It's something new to the league, right? So, and if, like you said, our scouts are going to handpick these guys anyways, right? So it's not like you said, somebody like me or JT walking on there, right, thinking that we're going to get a pro contract, right? It's actually going to be some players that have potential and therefore could possibly one day, maybe not a starter, but at least a squad player, right? That shows what's up.
And there's a possibility, right? It's like, the quote unquote winner, right, gets the first team spot, but maybe there's 3 other players from the show that we we actually like and they have some potential, and we can stash them on an MLS2 team, right? Something like that. Or,
Put them
you know,
in the discovery rights.
Things like that, right? So it's like,
That's right.
so,
We
yeah.
can put them on our list of discoveries.
Yeah.
And so,
see how to tie that together.
So it's a fun concept, and it's one I think everyone's excited about.
Yeah, so I guess we don't know really when it's going to air, right? Is it going to be kind of being filmed as the first season's kind of going, or like, because obviously we're going to need to have our team put together by the end of December, right? So
some of that's still kind of being put together, but I expect filming to start March, April, May. Kind of the first half of 2022, and then kind of just depending on how it goes and maybe who buys it and things like that, some of those finer details might change. And so maybe it's a player that might come available in the back half of the year, potentially. This player won't be on our opening day roster. I think I can be pretty confident
so
saying that.
So then that we're going to leave a roster space open for him then while we're filming? Or how does that work, right? Because
I think a little bit that depends on the type of players we're bringing in, right? So it's international spots or X, Y, and Z. I think we're going to have a lot of flexibility in our roster. So I wouldn't worry too much about those finer details. I think there's still a lot more variables to come in the next 3 months as we build our team, and maybe we have our defense sorted, so we don't even need to bring in center backs, right? So we just bring in forward players, something like that. So these are kind of the details that still need to be that time needs to tell. And so it's but again, we have a great sporting staff. That's what I kind of go back to, and we're going to ensure this isn't a distraction and this isn't a sideshow, and it's going to be it's going to be something special. Not to plug a PR hit, but there was Nick had an interview in Sport Business today, kind of a question and answer about it. So Nick has a few more details in there. I touched on a few of them, but go check it out. It's a free article. I think you get 8 or 10.
Where is that? Where can you find that?
It's on Sport Business.
Okay.
Sport Business. His name's Bob Williams. He wrote
but
it.
I love it. I mean, it continues to be, well, the club theme is innovation and pushing boundaries, and we're going to do things different. And we have, brand new team. We have all these possibilities, but let's take all these ideas from different areas. And I love it regardless.
Yeah. It is right. This club seems to be thinking outside the box. Sure.
And I think that's one thing, just from a comms and media side, I want to push too. I want to think outside the box. It's like I saw Jorge, his interview with Adam got 25,000 views on TikTok. It's like, we can't be ignoring that, right? Like that's an audience that's going to come to our games too. And so that's my plug to you guys, is to get on TikTok.
Yeah. we talked about it, but
we got to TikTok that clock and turn it back about 20 years.
Exactly.
Well,
exactly. But
I'm figuring it out.
I can do those things and ask the questions.
I'm already figuring it out, man. I got it. Lee. Hey, Lee. I got the TikTok.
All right, TikTok man. Unlock.
Let's
it's
see
the clock, right? I mean, all you got, it's some sort of clock or watch, right?
Yeah. Something like that, JT. That's right. That's right. So, all right, man. Anything else you want to say about the reality TV before we kind of shift gears?
I would just say stay tuned. I think news is going to trickle out here and there. When we have more to share, kind of from an official standpoint, we'll obviously share it with you guys. And every time you hear someone say it's a reality show and doesn't mean anything, kind of feel free to take this info back to them, show them this interview, show them some Nick stuff that he's done over the past few weeks talking about it. I think we hit most of it on the reality show. So
I'm just gonna say it's a reality of us kicking your ass.
Amen.
Yeah. I think I don't know. I feel like some of these clubs out here that like to troll us, right? Like I'm not going to call any names out, like St. Louis and those kind of folks, right? They're kind of nervous what we're putting together. Yeah, we don't have an app, but man, we're doing everything else. So.
I think now that you said that's a great segue into Centene, a St. Louis-based company that's moved.
Yes, right.
Their East Coast headquarters to Charlotte, and has become a big sponsor for us today.
It has.
The Cardinals are doing really well in football too. Oh, that's right. They're in Phoenix now.
Yeah, 6-0, I think, right? Kyler Murray, the savior. Anyway.
Yeah. So, like NC State for JPC says, right? We're going to fear the app, But anyways,
Yeah,
we're
I'm not
good.
gonna.
No. We're not trying to bring you in.
That's for you guys.
Yeah. That's all on us. This has nothing to
I'm
do
gonna
with
stay
Woody.
neutral on this.
Yeah.
I might
But
create
you're
a
right.
grinner or two here and get in there, but no.
Right. But no, like you said, we mentioned the new sponsor today. They're headquartered in St. Louis, right? They got the sleeve agreement. I believe it's a multi-year thing, averaging somewhere between $5 to $7 million. I think it is. So there were some questions about this that I saw out there, right? Obviously, they're buying a section of seats. They're paying for the PSLs, right, for those seats, and I guess they're going to kind of sell them just a ticket price cost, and then Charlotte FC is going to kind of take that money and roll it out for like greater goals, Meals on the Move, and Pitches for Progress, and that kind of thing, right? So I think it's noble by everybody that's the businesses that are in this. I think it's very noble of everybody. But like, how do they determine who gets those tickets? Right? Is it first come, first served? Is it like maybe the working class, the folks that can't get the tickets? Or, I mean, can you explain a little bit about that?
Yeah, and I'll first say, right, we say it's a St. Louis-based company, but they are moving their East Coast headquarters to Charlotte, so they're local. They're going to be here, and they're going to be involved in the community, which is a great partnership. And like you said, Pitches for Progress, greater goals, Meals on the Move. Yeah. It's great stuff that Centene is bringing to the community. But to your question of who gets these tickets, right? Like you said, it's kind of they're I think just under 2,000 tickets, and it's. If you want one of those sections, call our ticket office today and go get it, right? While they're available. And so that's kind of how they are. If they're open for the taking, essentially.
Right. So so this section that we're talking about is we got the supporters group, right, where we're all going to be yelling and cheering. They're going to be at the other end of the stadium, right? So for the folks that already bought those tickets for the PSLs, is there options to keep those seats, or what's Charlotte doing to kind of not upset the cart there?
Yeah, that's a great question. Yeah, that's a great question. I will say this isn't necessarily my area of expertise. I'm not necessarily in all these technical conversations. Exactly right. No, but yeah, I just encourage people that maybe are in those seats to call and see what those options are. There certainly are options, because these tickets, they don't come with that PSL, and so they don't come with certain perks as well that people that have kind of are in different areas of the seats, or different areas of the stadium have. And so, yeah, if you love those seats, I'm sure our ticketing staff will work with you, right? But I don't know the finer details of what happens if someone wants to move or things like that. But obviously, we got a great ticketing staff. So if you're in those sections, call your rep, and they'll certainly work with you to get the right option for you and your family, and get you somewhere else in the stadium and into the match.
Yeah, I saw a little bit.
Woody. Lee put you on the spot. You're talking about ticketing. He doesn't know shit about ticketing, Lee. Damn, man. Well said, Woody.
His title is the communications director, right?
Yeah, communicate. Yeah,
that's right. No, but I did see some people on Facebook, right? I wouldn't say they were upset. I think what it sounded like to me was, if you've already bought PSLs in that section, then the club is like offering to move you to another section, and all you do is pay the difference in ticket prices. So, if we had been smart, we would have bought those tickets, got paid the PSLs, and then just told them we wanted to go down to the vault and paid just the vault ticket prices versus the PSL prices, but whatever.
I don't know if that math works out. I don't know if that's
you got to carry the one, man.
I don't know. Yeah, exactly. Carry the one square root, divide by 3. Yeah. Yeah. But yeah, I mean, obviously we got a great staff, and that's what they're here for. We want to make the best experience for people in the stadium, and whether that's in the support section, in the new Centene section, in the vault, wherever, right? We want you guys in the stadium making noise, and so they'll work with you to get you where you need to be.
Yeah. So there was Willie P put a tweet out this morning. Yeah,
he did.
That he had a good source that said that we've sold about 15,000 tickets. Now, with this sponsorship deal, was that a part of the tickets included or no? Can you talk to that, or do you even know about it?
You mean of the Centene tickets?
Yeah. So rumor has it we've sold about 15,000 season tickets, right? And then Centene came along, right? Is that are their tickets included in that 15,000?
No, because that was just launched today, right? So that was a very brand new number. I'm sure a few of them have sold by now, right? I'm sure people have called and moved into those sections. So yeah, we're happy about 15 right now. Obviously, we want to keep going higher, and I think we're an ambitious club, and we're going to keep going higher. We have a bell in our office that rings every time someone sells a season ticket, and it rings very often. And so, you know, we're keep moving along, and we're still 5 months out without a schedule, without, you know, with only 8 players, with you know, we're still chugging along, and 15,000 is you know, just, you know, on the surface a great number for MLS if you look around the league, and I think we're confident we can get into the top 3. Yeah, I think we're confident we can get into the top 3 in season ticket sales and total attendance in this league. And you know, when you look at the league, that's with us competing with Atlanta and Seattle. I think those are the top 2 off the top of my head. And you know, if we can beat Atlanta and Seattle, we're gonna have a successful time. And I don't know if you guys have been to those stadiums, but they're rocking every week.
Atlanta's a legit
stadium, man. Like, you know, and I think people are gonna, you know, force that rivalry down the throats. But like, Atlanta's doing a lot well, right? They're struggling a little bit this way, but I saw they were beating my old club already tonight. I don't know what that ended. They were up 1-0 last I saw, but yeah, they're gonna make the playoffs, and they're gonna be a tough out in the playoffs, man. And I think that's good, and we can take a lot from Atlanta. What would top 3 be? 25K. Again, don't know that off the top of my head, but you know, we're hoping for 30, 32, 35, something in that area, and that will certainly be top 3.
What is that bottom bowl of the stadium? Do you know the numbers?
Yeah,
seats in there?
Roughly somewhere between 30 and 35. Right. It depends how. Right. It depends on a few things in that lower bowl of how, maybe where a television camera is put, or, you know, there are certain ways that for some reason seats will get axed for whatever reason. But
all I know
is 30 to 35.
All I know is we can have a hell of a party with 15,000 people. Let alone we put Centene giving us 17, and then whatever else.
Yeah.
Yeah. So if we get to 32, great, sure. Let's just say it gets to 20. Who gives a shit? It's still gonna be great. It's gonna be such a fun time.
Yeah, and I think if you look, right, like we watch global soccer. If we get 30,000, you know, if we average over 30,000, that's gonna be one of the, you know, one of the highest attended teams in North America, right? And it's gonna be higher than a lot of teams in the championship. It's gonna be higher than some Premier League teams. It's gonna be higher than a lot of teams in France. It's gonna be higher than a lot of teams in the world. And you know, and one of the good things is we have a stadium that can hold 70, 75,000 people, right? And so you look at some of these stadiums, right? And like, you're building some nice stadiums around the US. I've been to most of them, and right, say you're Cincinnati or whatever, and you're maxing out at 25K or whatever they hold. You can only take 25K. You might have a wait list of 35K, but you can't get them in the building, right? And so hopefully, right, we blow this out of the water, we get our 30, 35K, and then we can expand that, and hopefully we have people line up out the door, and we can get as many people into the building as we can. So we've got a great staff, great leadership, great ticketing team. So I think we're pretty confident that we're gonna be one of the leaders here in MLS from a ticket side.
Shit, reality show. Come on, man. We're doing everything.
We're doing everything.
Not to mention DT at the helm. Come on.
Yeah, get him on. I think that's gonna be a tough one.
Yeah, that's it. We keep throwing it out there. He's more than welcome to come on one day, but you know, it is. I don't think
100% of the shots you don't take.
That's right. So
keep shooting. Sometimes you land on the moon, right? Shoot for the stars, and miss your serial among the stars or whatever. I don't know what the saying is.
So you're saying David Tepper's a moon?
No. I don't know what I'm saying.
Yeah. No, but I mean, there's been talk, right? And I know we're kind of getting way off subject here, but there's been talk, you know, with that the Charlotte Pipe, that land over there, that, you know, Tepper's kind of been sniffing around, and the Panthers have been sniffing around, and possibly building some sort of all-purpose stadium, kind of like how, you know, Spurs have over in England. So, you know, I guess we'll see what comes out of that. But yeah, so I guess back to what we were talking about with the sponsorship, they're going to have the sleeve sponsorship, right? Is that correct?
Yeah, so they've been in sleeve, yeah, and I think they're on
Is
the
that the first time that's being done in the MLS?
train. No, so I think I know it's been done this year.
Okay.
I don't know when it started. So I know teams have it as a sellable asset at least this year. It might have started in 2020, but maybe I don't think all teams kind of utilized it. But it's a very kind of it's a big asset, and so they'll also be on the training kit as well. And then just a few other things here and there. You'll see them around. Right. So it's a big one. Like we're happy to have Centene on board. It's them. We've got Bojangles, we've got Ally, we've got more coming, guys. So so we're in good shape on that side.
Yeah, I know, and I think it's again, I'm just enjoying watching this come together. It's kind of neat to be at the beginning of watching this build out, and now it's like all these pieces are starting to fall together.
I think that's one of the coolest. That's one of the coolest things. Like just going to our office every day is like something new happens every day. Like I remember Nick pulling us into their office, like, "What we're doing a reality TV show." I was like, "Oh, cool. What's it about?" And so we just have a meeting on it. And so it's like I never know what's going to come up every day I go into work, and it's kind of fun. It's like whether Zoran pulls me in to talk about a signing or a coach or whatever, or Nick.
When was the last time he pulled you in and talk about a signing? Did it happen to be like this week? Other than what we already know?
No, it wasn't this week. I did just have dinner with him, but we didn't talk about player signings.
I don't know, man. You looked away. I think if you look to the left,
we're in South.
Look at those tails.
There was a light outside. The streets were causing commotion down here. So that's what that was. No,
pocket aces are you?
I would not start your Google search this week, guys. There's more ways to use your time wisely in the next.
Yeah, I mean, what we do is we just walk blindly around downtown Charlotte, right around the stadium, and then bump into.
Exactly right. Every now and then you find a scoop, which is which is great. You put yourself. You're like a striker. Put yourself in the right positions, and you'll find it back in the net.
That's right. Shoot for the moon or something like that, right?
Exactly. Shoot for the moon.
We're talking about David Shepard.
Still amongst the stars. No.
Right. Yeah. So, we're kind of coming up to the top of the hour here, or we got about 10 more minutes left. We'd like to kind of keep this at an hour, right? Is there anything that, the club's doing that you would like to talk about? Something exciting maybe that you can maybe shed some light on? I know.
Yeah, no, we're doing a lot, man. Like what I've been blown away by is are the people within our office that kind of just have these creative minds. Like I tweeted this today. It's like our content team is blowing it out of the water. Like they're literally some of the most, kind of creative minds that I've been around. And I've worked in TV, and I've worked with editors that can do motion, and these kids, and not to call them kids, but they're all in their 20s, right? And they're, they're pushing the boundaries of what we want to do. And that's what we want to do too. We want to push boundaries, and we want to be different, right? For me, it's 2022, and we want to, or we'll be in the league in 2022. So we should start acting like that and doing things differently, and not have other people dictate how we're supposed to do things. So it's like, for instance, again, we talked about Caleb, we joked about Caleb, but Caleb put out a great article 2-3 days ago whenever we signed Jordy, and he had to sit down with Thomas. And that article today got picked up in Ecuador from outlets that had about 500,000 followers. And so, right. And so it's that made some, the Twitter made some waves in Brazil, and Brazilian fans were talking about more clubs should be doing things like this. And so we're sitting here internally. It's like, how can we be different and how can we stand out? It's like, we just talked about tickets, right? And how we want to be and be expected. Yeah. Bojangles, how we want to be top 3 in these tickets, right? And how we want to be up there, but we also want to lead the league in innovation. We want to lead the league in content creation. We want to lead the league in communication, right? So if you look at today, Nick had interviews in Sport Business, The Athletic, and Charlotte Business Journal, all 3 talking about different subjects. And if you look around the league at other MLS teams, you're gonna be hard pressed to find a team that's doing more of that in major outlets as well. And so we're going full steam ahead. And I think Nick said this a lot too, is we're gonna mess up at times, right? And we're gonna say the wrong thing, or we're gonna do the wrong thing, or we're not gonna get the messaging right on something, and that's okay. But I'm always impressed by the people within our office who are hungry, who want to make this club the best it can be. And I think fans can appreciate that, and we want to push boundaries, and we want to be a leader in MLS, not only on the field, in the point table, not in ticket sales, but in earned media, in what we create content wise, and what we're doing in the community. And we've got a great community team with us and those guys. Academy, we want to be one of the biggest producers of talent in the country, right? So we've got big goals, and we've got people in leadership here that have that goal, and we want to do it. So that's what I've been most blown away by. For
and with the best fan TV for the fans.
Yeah, I mean, hey,
damn it.
Lee was chirping me the other day for getting Troops here, and so we had
I was
Nick on
busting your
Troops,
balls, man. I can't believe you got Troops, man. What the hell?
Yo, Troops,
man.
Without Troops, you guys wouldn't have a fan TV. Like, you wouldn't have that idea, right?
No, it would be Robbie. Robbie is the reason of the fan TV.
Well, yeah, of course, but Troops is part of that, right? But just that Arsenal fan TV, right? Obviously,
you don't say Arsenal on this show. We don't say, we call them Gooners.
The Gooners. Well, they're my old boss Patrick Vieira had a nice little result with them the other day. So
that's right.
I'll take that.
That's right. But yeah, so shout out to Caleb for real, man. Even before he was hired by Charlotte FC, he put out some fantastic articles. So if you haven't followed him on Twitter, I believe it's Caleb Adams. Solid write-ups on all his stuff that he does, and now we're lucky enough to have him at the club.
Yeah,
and he does solid work.
And I just want to give a shout out too, right? Like, even what you guys are doing, what Jorge's doing, right? Ashley, Alex, like local TVs, FNZ, Will, you mentioned him earlier. Like, there is a buzz in the media space here in Charlotte, and we want to tap into that, and we want to. And what you guys are doing here is super important. I think we had dinner, what was it, a month ago or whatever, and it's like, I've seen what the power of fan media can do, and I think a lot of people sometimes look down upon it, but that they're just missing an opportunity to expose, right? Exposure to a wider group of fans, right? Not everyone's going to read the Charlotte Business Journal. It's very important, and it's like, right? But like, not everyone's going to read the Observer. Not everyone's going to listen to FNZ. Not everyone's going to listen to this podcast. Not everyone's going to be on TikTok, right? Yeah, I'm sorry.
Everybody that's on here needs.
Not everyone.
What?
Yeah.
What the hell, Woody?
Yeah.
That's a low blow, bro.
Man, crushing my dreams. This is the reality show.
Exactly. So we got to be where people are listening, and it's a whole ecosystem here in Charlotte that we're tapping into. So, right. And so I want to do more of this, man. So whether that's with, the supporter groups, whether that's with whoever, right? Like, I'm not doing much every night, man. I'm coming home, playing some FIFA, watching some soccer, and
no, man. We still have stuff on the Xbox, man. UK to US 88 is my gamer tag, and you should add me. But anyways, but like you said, right, our biggest thing that JT and I want to do, we're soccer fans. We want to give the fans an outlet, right? Give them the opportunity to have their voice, and we're pretty grateful for the club. They've kind of accepted us, right? When Nick came in, he met with us and kind of listened to our plug and everything. And you guys have been pretty good about being accessible for us. So we appreciate that back. So, kudos to you guys.
I mean, that's what we're here for. Like I said, we want to be accessible. We want to be transparent with you guys the best we can be. We want to be honest. We want to be, X, Y, and Z, right? Like, and so you only hurt yourself if you're not doing those things. I think that's what I've learned, in the past, stops. It's like, we have to be out there, and we have to be in there. The moment people kind of stop talking about you is the moment, your club is irrelevant, right? And so we want people to be talking about us, whether it's good, whether it's bad, right? We want people talking about Charlotte FC, and we want people talking about us like the way they talk about Atlanta, like the way they talk about Seattle, right? And we want to eclipse that. And so that's what we're here for. And that's you guys feed into that. People on this listening to feed into that. Go read soccer stuff, right? Like, the reason people will write about us and cover us is because people are listening to it. So, right, go listen to podcasts, go read The Athletic, go subscribe, go do all those things. And it only grows the club here. We want to grow it locally, we want to grow it nationally, and we want to have international appeal. And so we've got the right people here, and it's going to be a tiring few months, but it's exciting. Kickoff's pretty soon.
Yeah, we're getting some questions in now, right? Obviously, how good are you in on the Xbox, right? Playing your game there.
I'm decent. I'm not. I was much better in college before it became a skill move. I was really good.
And then,
But yeah, I'm
hand-eye
Division 7
coordination
if
a little
anyone cares.
faster. The fastest
Yeah,
muscles
I'm
in your
getting
thumbs.
yeah, I'm getting old, man. That's the problem.
and then
I
Cameron's
just don't have
asking,
time to play. Yeah.
yeah, Cameron's asking, you know, so for the folks that are not local to Charlotte, right? I know Charlotte's got that deal with WSOC TV, right? So it's gonna be a OTA, you know. And every time we ask this question, I don't think we've really had a solid answer, and you may not know either right now, but you know, where could they stream the games? You know, do you know, is it gonna be like ESPN Plus sort of thing, or you know?
Yeah, so there's a few answers to that question, right? So like outside of Charlotte specifically, we're working on kind of an affiliate network, right, throughout the Carolinas, so people can watch it locally on their local stations, whether that's Spartanburg, Raleigh, Greenville, wherever, right? So we're working on that to make sure people aren't blacked out, right? And so, and then kind of other to the point is ESPN Plus. So if you're outside of kind of the blackout window, which can be a little tricky with MLS. I think it's 75 miles within the stadium, I think is the rule. ESPN Plus is the deal for 2022. So go subscribe. I think it's like $5 a month, something like that. But if you're in Charlotte, it's not going to work for you guys. There are certain ways around it that I don't want to plug on a public broadcast, but we want you to. But the good thing is, right, like, you know, WSOC is over the air. So all you need is an antenna. Right, you need an antenna and a TV, right? And so, you know, hopefully there's some streaming capabilities. I'm not necessarily in these conversations yet, but hopefully there's some streaming capabilities locally as well. And yeah, and I think we're gonna be excited. We're gonna be accessible from a TV perspective too. So that's great over the air. You know, the guys that got the deal done, Nick and that crew. They crush it there. Not a lot of teams are over the air. Like when I was at NYCFC, we were on Yes Network, and obviously Yes Network's a big, well-known brand, but Yankees are their priority, and they're also they're not on streaming services, and so you have to have cable to watch it, and so that cuts out a ton of fans. And then when you're bumped to Yes 2 as well, that it didn't help us, and so. You know, to be over there on WSOC, to be live Spanish TV on Telemundo as well, it's massive for the club, and it's we want to have the best local broadcast in the game. And so, you know, we've had Eric Krakauer, who we'll get you set up with here.
Oh yeah,
kind of gets here to Charlotte, and yeah, so we'll have radio come in as well. So the games are going to be accessible, right? So if you can't make it to the stadium, you can tune in many ways.
Right. So with that being said, Sean, what's up, buddy? Hey, any date in December on the kit? Do we have like a because at first it was November and now it's December, and you know.
Yeah.
I don't know if you could speak to that.
Yeah, I'm not necessarily working on this project as much, so I don't have a date for you. I know there's been some supply chain issues, and I think it's plaguing not only kit manufacturers but basically the supply chain for any goods and services. Xboxes, PS4s, whatever, right? I think everyone can see that. So yeah, I don't have a date, and I don't want to speculate for you guys. I don't think that's fair to anyone here. So, but I'm sure, like, once, you know, where, like you said, Nick's accessible on Twitter, right? Like he's tweeting you guys all the time, right? We're doing tough in the community all the time. So, you know, you guys aren't going to be left out of the loop. But
does Nick sleep? Does he sleep at all?
Does Nick sleep? Idea, to be honest.
I mean, that man is everywhere.
I've only seen him awake, so I don't know. But yeah. So yeah, you know, Nick's great, man. He's been incredible to work with so far. Just getting to know him, getting to learn from him. He obviously has a PR and marketing background, so I learn from him every day and how he does things. So he's been great so far.
Yep, you hear that, Nick? At this point.
Yeah, if Nick's listening, that was the moment I tossed to him.
Yeah, right, for sure. So
we love you, Nick.
So Woody, man, we really appreciate your time. So for the folks out there, you know, Woody's on Twitter. You can find, what's your handle, Woody? Is it just at Woody Wilder?
I think it's at Woody_Wilder. I think is the handle. I tweet about Charlotte FC and then every now and then Virginia Tech football. So don't get mad at me. Might make a meme here every now and then. So hopefully I can bring some joy to you guys. I tweet a lot about like upcoming radio interviews. Like Nick was on Sirius, so tune into me, man. You'll kind of get to see if people are on doing an interview talking about the club. You'll see it from from me. I'll retweet it, like it, do that sort of thing.
Yeah. So, with that being said, guys, if you guys haven't hit the old sub button, that's all we're after is a cheap plug for ourselves. And, we really appreciate everybody that tunes in and supports us. And Woody, thanks again, buddy. We appreciate your time, man. I know you had a chance to schedule a Hornets game, but you picked us, so
Nah, it's all good.
I'm feeling kind of good, man.
Did they win? I don't know. They were winning by 4 last time I saw.
Somebody out there and let us know if the Hornets
I
won.
just appreciate that you put it out there before we started. That you're like, hey, I had a chance to go to the game, but I'd rather be here. Folks, that's dedication. Dub was like, man, I'll go to one of those 42 games some other
Hey,
time.
that's on him.
Hey, they won, man. How about that?
Hey, they won. Sorry.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Sorry,
Nice.
Woody.
Let's go.
Sorry, bud.
Let's go. Huge.
Yes,
I saw they were down by
that's on
about
us.
20.
Hey, maybe it's a good luck thing. Maybe if you appear here, they always win.
It's cool. I'm not that big of an NBA fan, to be completely honest. So
Yeah, me either. So
yeah.
All right, guys. Go ahead.
No, I was just saying when the playoffs come around, I'll be there. But otherwise, I'd rather be talking to you guys, to be completely honest. This is what I do. This is what I do for a living. I talk to journalists. So this is what I do. So this is what I like to do. I'll come here and talk to you guys anytime.
Well, man, we really appreciate your time, man. And personally, I thank you for being accessible and that sort of thing. So everybody out there, hit that sub button, follow us on all the socials, and I guess we'll catch you on the next live show. Take care. Peace.
Awesome. See you guys.